This is a summary page for my Classflow lesson, and I can deliver the lesson right from here, for example, or you can deliver the lesson from within Edit Lesson. If I want to present or deliver this lesson to my students, I need to go to Present. One thing you really need to understand is that notice it says present and it says present in class, and this is how it works. In order for you to present or deliver a lesson, you have to send it to a class, which means you have to have a class. I've set up two classes here, and also by default Classflow creates ad hoc session. It says no class, but it's actually a class with no name. So basically you have one class by default, and you can set up as many classes as you want to. Then you pick which class you want to send the lesson to. Let's say I'm going to send it to ad hoc session. Now I am in a presentation mode. Here's a very important thing. One thing you really need to understand is that some of the functions will not work unless you have a student in the class. Right now I have no student in this class. If there are no students like this, this is to share your cards or slides with students. This option, send card, is disabled. Click, and nothing happens. And also, set start poll. Poll is like a multiple choice questions or creative response questions I did with you guys. And poll is also disabled because there are no students in this class to take those polls and receive these cards. So if you really want to practice delivering the cards or giving assessments or poll, you have to add at least one student in the class. So let's do that. This is classflow.com/learner, and this is where your students will have to go to join the class. To join this class, I have to enter the class code for this class, which you can see from right here. So it's QW should. Okay, QW should. So that's the class code for this class. And join class. And I'm gonna just type name here. And remember, this is kind of important if you're going to give assessments and quizzes. It says if you join without choosing your name from the roster list, you will still be able to see the cards sent to you by your teacher and take part in polls. That's good. However, you will not be able to take part in quizzes and assessments. You have to remember this part. If you want to preview how everything works, teacher must create a class roster which appears right here. But I didn't set up a class roster for this ad hoc class, so the only thing I can do is just type in join without choosing my name from the roster list. And I can see cards and participate in polls, but I can't take quizzes or assessments as a student. Let's join anyway. Great, I'm in. I'm gonna go back to the teacher's side. Now you see this class has one student, which is fake student. Because I have at least one student in the class now, I can use these two features now. For example, okay, so I have student screen on this side and teacher screen on this side. I want to share this screen, this card with the student. See, it appears. I'm going to share this with my students. And it's trying to load it. Okay, how about this one? And then students will receive it. So I am pushing these cards to my students' Classflow page, but typically you will use the send card option. You have to choose and do this, send card. The reason why I don't have to do that is when I was creating Classflow, I chose an option to automatically pushing the cards to students by selecting it. And that's not the default settings. Default setting is you choose and then they won't see anything until you do this. Okay, and a poll, let's do a poll. So suppose you want to send this to your students as a poll. And there are different options you can give them. And let's use creative, also called creative response activity. This time I didn't just push it to students, I push it to the students as a form of activity. And as you can see, now they have some tools here. Selection, camera, pen, shape, text, and reset. So students can draw, insert shapes, capture picture, and type. And they are draggable and resizable. Whoa. And students can move the text and pictures that teacher has created. That's also possible. Okay, let's come back to the teacher's side. What are these two? Pause and stop. So this activity is ongoing right now. And if you pause, let's see what happens. Session is paused, please wait. So activity is paused for all students currently in the class. And if you resume, what if you want to end the session, activity session, then stop. The poll has ended and students won't be able to work on it anymore. And another thing I did in class is, for example, let's start a poll again. I'm going to do the same creative response activity because I designed this card for that. So now the creative response activity is ongoing right again. And instead of stopping, I'm going to show you how to monitor how your students are doing. And you can do that from here. View assessment and poll responses. So click as students submit their response. Submit. You will see their responses down here. And you can show it to the whole class. And you can also click here and add it to your Classflow lesson you created. Add it to your original Classflow lesson you created. Card successfully added to the lesson I created. So if I exit out of the preview, you see this has been added to my lesson. Once the card is in here, you can use pen tool to draw, use a selection tool to move items. You can even add your own picture. They actually created a whole new card. It didn't work the way I wanted it to work, but other tool will work. And you can analyze, give comment, or discuss as a whole class, and you can do whatever you want with this in class. And of course, you can always go back to the preview of your students' progress. And since I only have one student in the class, I only see this. But if there are more students, doing some great work, you can choose incorporate it into the lesson and show it to the whole class and discuss it. And if you see a big teachable moment in someone's response, then you will add it to the lesson again and do the same thing. And once you're ready to stop the session, stop, and the preview icon's gone. but you can still come here and it says view assessment and poll responses. So you click here, then all the student responses are archived here. This is the first poll or activity session I initiated, and this is the second one I just did. So let's see, if I click here, then it shows the student responses archived in Classflow. So that's also useful. And this function to add students' responses to lesson is still available from here as well. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. So that's how Classflow works on the teacher side and the student side. And that's how you test and preview how the interface for teacher's page works and how the interface for student page works.